Where did you grow up in the city? You know what I'm saying? What
Man,
parts was you hitting type around that time?
I'm like one of them dudes from Milwaukee, man, that really grew up in Milwaukee. I was on the east side, born on the east side of Milwaukee.
Uh-huh.
I grew up at Rose Park. That's where I first really started hooping at Rose Park.
Shout out Rose Park, yeah.
And then I go from the east side and I moved to like 41st and Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Then my grandma and my cousins was on 41st and Garfield. So I was all through 41st from Garfield to Wright, North, Monica. I grew up all through that area. And then that's when I started hooping at Washington High School.
Okay.
My big brothers, like they was been hooping. They was going to they was playing summer leagues there, open gym, late nights. And I was just, always watching. I wasn't hooping because I was too little to get on the court, but I was always watching, going to the games. Then I started finally hooping there. Then went from Washington High School, Washington Park. So that I grew up at Washington Park pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because when I was at Rose, I was real little. But when I really started understanding how to hoop and do a lot of swimming and shit, I did it all at Washington High School, Washington Park.
So, and too, I noticed. So, when you started off, like you said, you started playing organized in fourth grade. With your overall talent, just in the street, was it an easy adjustment to you to get to like playing organized?
Yeah, because I was one of them kids like really outside.
Yeah.
Soon I wake up with a ball, so it didn't matter if I was getting training or playing. I'm playing real basketball. 5-on-5, 1-on-1s, half court. I never really played full, but I was at the park, so I was always hooping, even on the crates in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
We pulling courts. That's when people used to get the Walmart courts.
Facts. Yeah.
Pull out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
In the street. We playing full. That's how I used to hoop.
Yeah.
And then when the Rebels came, I was in the gym since then. I really kind of stopped hooping outside. I was in the gym.
After that, okay, I feel you. So, all right, for people outside the city that might not know about the Rebels, they was, they one of the bigger. Yeah, they probably the biggest AU program that we got in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like
definitely, probably the biggest AU program.
And I say AU program is birth from. What would you say?
I say
in Wisconsin.
Probably the biggest AU program in Wisconsin.
Yeah, facts. So out the gate, just being on that team, you gotta have some kind of work for real. So, do you feel like being with them? ASAP, do you feel like you started making your name for yourself in the city? Like, or, just with your grade, the second you got with running Rebels?
Yeah, soon I got with the Rebels, man. They noticed it in me and, like, kind of pushed me to be a leader. At a young age, like, making me do interviews in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Stuff I never did. But they like, everybody, you go talk. And make me talk to the news and shit about the program and Rebels at a young age, so they kind of built the leadership in me.
Mm-hmm. Was you getting a lot of support from your parents and especially like you mentioned your brother? What kind of support you was getting ASAP? Because I know they seen the talent. Did they know it was going to be special?
I ain't really had family support as far as basketball. I don't come from a sport family.
Okay,
I'm the only guy that plays sport in my family. And they even graduated high school. I come from a family from the streets, really in the streets, drugs, selling drugs, doing drugs, but a real family, But that's just how my family operate as my childhood. So when I branched off and started my name, everybody in my family, like, treated me different, started treating me different. Like, when they saw me start playing ball and everybody started treating me different. Like, that's just what it was. Even the neighborhoods, so they saw what type of family I come from. They like, damn, he doing something different. So,
do you feel like, so I'm glad you mentioned that because, Milwaukee, a real place, even the neighborhoods that you mentioned, you know what I'm saying? It ain't the safest neighborhoods. This is a real deal neighborhood.
I probably grew up in the worst neighborhoods in Milwaukee for real during those times too.
So just as far as that end, even though like you made your way through basketball, did you ever feel like you know what I'm saying, that was a path that it could have like went for you, just the street period?
Man, the Rebels helped me in that situation. They kept me away from the neighborhood, kept me away from home on the weekends, or the Rebels kind of helped save that. It probably would have been easy for me to go in the street way because my big brothers, my dad, uncles, cousins, like literally all my male figures is in the streets, in and out of jail and shit like that. So I ain't really had no real good solid male figure to look up to. Like, I had a big cousin. He had money, but he sold drugs.
Yeah.
So I looked up to him because he was fresh and shit like that. But he got killed. I was old enough to see that and go through that with him. And then my other cousin in Chicago got killed. So I got a lot of family in Chicago and a lot of family in Milwaukee, but most of my family, I got a lot of family in Chicago. My dad from Chicago, so growing up as a kid, my family from Chicago and Milwaukee used to be back and forth.
Okay.
So I was in Chicago a lot during the summers as a kid and in Milwaukee a lot. So
Yeah, too. Okay, so just even as far with that, do you feel like on the court, knowing like your circumstance or what it could be, do you feel like that put the dog in you a little bit? Because if if people go see you play, of course highlights one thing, but if they see you play live, you got a certain dog to you on top of skill. But like, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel like that was put in you from being raised in the streets?
It definitely helped, and it worked for me because I'm small. Maybe if I was tall, I probably wouldn't need that dog. But when you small, you kind of need it to get over the hump. But yeah, and I don't regret the way I grew up and things I saw. I appreciate it because it kind of made me a more advanced in the world. What was going on around me?
Yeah.
Even my peers knew I was a little more mature than everybody around me because I done saw a lot. The parents, they can feel it. I just know growing up through the Rebels, how the parents treated me. They knew he a little different from everybody and shit like that. So that's why I had a lot of anger as a kid. I was fighting a lot and shit like that. So yeah, the dog, that's where that dog come from. Growing up like that in the inner city, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Being around my big cousins and shit like that. No, I used to really be in Chicago as a kid.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So even that
real
too.
neighborhood where Dirk them talking about my cousins, they really from over there, and I really used to be over there. I really had friends in Chicago.
Well, man, it's good that you overcame that, and too,